Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of this Cities Skylines 2 series, where we're just starting off with a starter map, building a city. There's nothing special about it, but there could be in the end, you never know. This is now the 5th attempt at recording this episode in particular. That's again due to game crashes, losing saves, and also issues with the recordings on the streaming platform. It's just been a nightmare, to be honest, and if you have watched these episodes, you'll notice that there's a lot more built than before, and that's because the recording didn't work. So everything that was built, I stupidly saved over the last one, and the autosave, for some reason, I don't know how often the autosaves run. I think I've got them set at 5 minutes, so most of this work had already been finished, so I couldn't revert back to how it was. So I thought, let's just go ahead with it, we'll see what happens, and I'll just explain quickly. In the episode that I didn't record, I'm just trying to remember what I built. So this section's all filled in with residential down here. I added more industrial sections at the top, built these roads here opposite the industrial section, and also built this section over here to start putting medium density housing. And then we have some commercial area at the bottom here, medium density in the middle, and low density housing around the outside. That's pretty much all that happened. Just building zones, finishing off this area. I was planning on adding some more healthcare, some power plants, fire, police, things this round, but I don't think I'm going to do that yet. I think I'm going to focus on building out this area, adding some more sections up the top here, and just defining the roads a bit more before we go into the next one. And as you can notice, or you may have not noticed, there seems to have been an accident, which is the first one of these that I've seen. So if we just zoom in here, still getting a bit of lag on the game for some reason. Now it looks like, what's happened here? It looks like two cars carrying trailers have collided. And if I just press play, this was playing for about 3 minutes just while I waited for the game to catch up, and nothing's happened. And I think I've finally clocked why, because we don't actually have a police station or a fire station that has fire engines to come out and deal with the accident. So my guess, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, unless I actually place a police station or fire station down, this traffic accident will just remain in the middle of the road forever. And all the traffic that comes down will slow down on this side. And by the looks of it, the traffic on this side of the road just turns around and goes the other way, which is not what we want on one of the main roads. So it looks like I'm going to have to invest some money into a police station. And thinking about the best place to put it, I was going to do it on the main road, somewhere maybe here, just so the cars had access to a faster road, bigger network, and could get to the areas quicker. However, I'm actually thinking of placing it just inside this square. So there's no other cars, no other areas where they're impeded from accessing the roads. So if we just look at the police station here, upkeep 38,000, which isn't too bad, and 6 patrol cars. And I think I'm going to place it right on the edge, just there. That doesn't look too bad. It gives them good access to the roads, and hopefully they're going to deal with this traffic accident, which I will check a bit later. I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to sit here and watch to wait for the police cars, but I am assuming it will disappear. In the meantime, we do have some demand for commercial and industry, which I'm going to add up in this section again. So we're just going to take the road tool. I'm going to make sure that we have some more road heading up this way. And then we build another grid section going across. I'm just going to make that little square industry again. It might seem pretty strange or boring building industry just in a straight line all the way up. However, I think I'm going to cut it off maybe at the border of this tile, and then I'll start a different section with more industry somewhere else, just so we're not all crowded in the same area, because it might cause some issues. And the accident is still there. I'm just going to see if the police have arrived. Is that a police car? Oh yes, the police have arrived by the looks of it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't see any people walking around, but I assume they're dealing with the accident. Let's see what happens. Now this section, I wanted to fill this with medium density housing and commercial areas. I haven't decided how best to do it yet. I don't know whether to have commercial on the outside and medium density on the inside, or have different rows of different buildings. Oh, the accident has been cleared. So it looks like police is all we needed. So I have a demand for medium density housing, and I think we will go for small apartment buildings, maybe around this section. Let's try this. And then I'm going to do commercial in the middle of this section, just so it adds some sort of mixture between the two. It looks like they have a little shopping village in the middle of each section, which is continuing the trend of this part and this part here. Now, one of the main things that I need to consider is schools and all the extra things we need for the city. And in addition to that, the electricity and water is something I still can't wrap my head around. Now, I haven't researched this outside of recording, and look, we've got the notification there. Production is not meeting demand, so we're importing from neighbours, which means I'm spending money on buying electricity from other people. I don't know why that is, because I have a transformer station down and I have power lines running to the transformer station. My guess is that the power that's coming from these lines is from another city, and the transformer station is just basically taking that power and providing it to the city. So in order for me to avoid paying another city for electricity, I have to either put a wind turbine or a coal power plant down, which is frustrating because, again, they cost money for upkeep and we're still losing money, which I don't want to keep doing because it's not good for the city. With all the other things I need to add, like waste management, education, healthcare, I don't really want to add to the upkeep every week, but it might be worth placing just one wind turbine to see what happens. And conveniently, where I've just pulled that out, we're getting nearly full capacity for the windmill right in the middle of the city. If we bring it up this way, we're starting to get less and less towards the middle. Let me see what it's like on the coastline. Very bad. 3.9. Seems we get 5 on here, so perhaps. I'm surprised in the water we're not getting hardly any production. The wind speed's too low, because I would have thought in the water areas you get more of an increased wind speed, especially as it's in the middle of the two valleys where we've got the mountains up there on the left and right. And we have unlocked a signature building by the looks of it. Very nice. We'll leave that for now. So I'm thinking to place it maybe here, and then placing, what I'll have to do is put a transformer station somewhere around this area just to continue. So if I make this area maybe a wind farm, let's place one. And then I think we need to join the power lines. We might need to put another transformer station down. If I put that, maybe I want to have it away from residential, but also I don't want to disrupt where we were going to place roads, which I was actually going to bring some roads down this way. So let's pause the game a second. I did want to bring another road straight off of here, a shorter road, like a 2-lane. Let's just see how that looks there. So it's almost like a slip road, and I wanted this to follow the path of the coast, again like we have on the other side. So if I bring this into here and bring it around this area, that works. And then what I could do, I think the 2-lane road is the smallest road. Narrow 2-lane road without sidewalks allows traffic in both directions. Let's try this road. So I'm also going to bring this off of this road purely to have the transformer station on the end of it, and then we'll connect the power lines, which I'm not connecting for some reason. It says overlapping items. The problem is, again, you can see there's so many little black squares telling me what's happening. I can't see where to actually place these items down. So it looks like this just needs to connect. Why isn't this connecting? For some reason, it's trying to tell me it's overlapping, and it's quite clearly not overlapping anything. I don't understand whether it just needs to be next to the... Let's try with snapping off. It's automatically snapping, unfortunately. It should connect to that blue module, but it won't let me use that module as a... Okay, so it's let me connect it, but for some reason it's still saying it's not connected. Let me just press play. It's still not connecting that. This is again one of the things on the game that I can't seem to understand. It doesn't make sense to me, because there's 2 error messages. It's also actually asking me for power lines and electric cables, which doesn't make sense. Why would I need both? Unless I need both. Surely not. Surely the electricity production from the turbine comes into this station through through these cables. If not, I've just wasted a considerable amount of money. I wonder if I can connect this directly. That doesn't make sense to me, because if that's the case, that means I've got to run power lines from this transformer station all the way through the city just to connect up to this, or from this side across the water, because there's no other access for power lines. The end of the power line is not connected to the network. Is it an issue with the road? I still don't understand why this won't let me just connect straight from that blue node there to this. Why it's saying there's overlapping items. Again, is this a bug? It wouldn't surprise me. Is it me? Is it something I haven't pressed? But it would make so much more sense just to be able to draw one line and connect it. Now, refund amount 22,000. I'm just going to see how much I get back for these. 22,000. And how much did it cost? 30,000. So I lose 8,000 just for demolishing this right now. But I don't see any other option unless I'm going to run the cable all the way from the back here, which doesn't make sense to me. I could place the wind turbine, I could move it and place it in this area, but let's see. Yeah, we don't get as much of a much wind speed there. What about on the edge here? Now we get somewhat good wind speed here, but it's not the same 5 megawatts that we get over the other side. Leave it with me. I'm gonna figure this out, and then I'll jump back in to the recording. Okay, welcome back. So I figured it out, and it was the most obvious thing possible. All I needed to do was simply build a power line from the wind turbine to connect to the road. As you can see here, it's connected. I don't understand why it told me I needed power lines. I think it was because I added a transformer station and I didn't actually need that. So instead it's connected to the road network, which is connected to the original transformer station. So that somehow works. What I plan to do with this area, I deleted the road coming off, and I will add a wind farm in this section because it's good production. One at a time. I don't think it's important to add one now. It seems like there's still quite bad import rates on the electricity and consumption, but I'm going to leave that because I don't want to start investing in these wind turbines when I haven't got the money to fund them. So back to the game. Now I have 5 tiles to purchase, and I think I'm going to use them now. So I'm going to definitely buy these 3 down the bottom, and then I think these 2 along the side, which is 76,000. In fact, I'm just going to buy these 2 for now, 22,000. Just to unlock this bottom section so we can carry on around the coast and fill in this area. It's likely that I will do this entire section down the coast before building up into the mountainside. We'll see how that goes. So we have again a large demand for commercial, which I'm going to add into this section somewhere. Now I might do a row of commercial and a row of housing. I'm not sure yet. Perhaps I'm only going to do commercial up until this part, and then the medium density housing on either end, and we'll see how that looks when it starts building out. I haven't unlocked high density business yet. I'm surprised there isn't a medium density to go along with the housing, but not sure what that would even mean, medium density commercial. So I think just taking a quick look at the statistics, the expenses have come right down, and that is likely due to me adding the wind turbine, because we no longer have to import the electricity and pay for it, which it's actually a lot less. We're importing 5.2, consumption is 10.2, so that works out with the 5 that we're generating from this wind turbine. So that brings the cost down significantly, which means I could actually add another wind turbine just to make it, just to try and balance the cash out. If we look at the budget, that could break us even. Let's have a look at how much these cost a month again. 15,000 a month, but it's potentially going to save me. It doesn't say how much I'm paying for trade there. Let me see if I can see it in here. Electricity is 18,000. I'm not sure if there's a way you can break this down into, oh there we go, exported electricity, but it doesn't have, there we go, imported electricity 26,000. So if I can place another wind turbine down, I'm actually potentially going to save money, even though I'm spending money to maintain. So I think we're going to do that. Let's add to the wind farm. So you can't place in the same circle by the looks of it. I'll try and place it as far to the edge as possible. And just put it in this section here. And then instead of doing what I did last time and place this power line above ground, I'm actually going to place it below ground. So we'll connect it to this first, drop the elevation down and connect, and then it's disappeared. Looks a lot cleaner. Then let's see how this changes the electricity. We're up into the orange now. So this is the point I was making in the very first episode when I said I haven't got much experience playing the Skylines games, and obviously this one's a lot more complex. It's just something you learn as you go, because the electricity production, I didn't have a clue what this meant at the start, and I finally figured out that we're paying money for imported electricity, and we found a solution to bring that money, those expenses down. And I'm just going to see by how much. So imported electricity is still saying 26,000, which doesn't make sense. That should have gone up by now because we're producing more. Let me just speed this up a little bit. Just going to see if we can bring the time forward a bit. I don't know whether, oh there we go. Import electricity 2,000. So just by adding that one turbine, that's bringing everything down by a lot. This gap has now shrunk quite considerably. We're still losing money, which took a while to update. 11,000 by the looks of it. Service upkeeps. Now this is where we can start trying to save money. So I'm going to bring these down to 80. For some reason I can't go to 85. 84% on the roads. The electricity fees I'm going to put up to 120%. Water and sewage, I'm going to bring the budget down to 90. We'll try and keep it at that for now. Taxes I've already increased. I'm going to do a 1% rise on residential and commercial again. We're still losing money, which is crazy to think about, really. Obviously the more... Oh no, we're in the positive now. This is what we want. This is what I want to keep it at. Always in the green plus. So I haven't seen anyone complain yet. Previously on what I remember from Skylines 1, as soon as you increase the taxes and start messing, people will start moving out. You would see angry faces everywhere, unhappiness. At the moment, I haven't seen anything change. So these reductions are working for now. And I'm just starting to see a bottleneck down here in the traffic. What I might do, I'm pretty sure these are traffic lights. I don't know if I've got access to edit the roads. Let's have a look at these. Contour lines, replace, parallel mode, intersections, highways, parking spaces, road services. So I haven't unlocked advanced road services yet, which I believe means I can remove these traffic lights, because what I will do is keep this as a free flowing road and have this as a traffic light and have this as a stop sign, sorry, because it's going to be a smaller road. But let's bring the camera back in this direction. Again, commercial we have a huge need for. The problem I've got there is we have a big need for commercial, which means I'm going to build up this area. However, no demand for the medium density household, which means these businesses might close because there's not people to work. Let's have a look at the map and see where we are. I think this section up the top here I'm going to make into another residential area. I'm not sure what it's going to look like yet. I might do it as row housing. So I'm going to just build off of this straight road. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to build from the centre road straight down, if it lets me place the road, and then build roads coming off. For some reason it's not registering that I'm pressing the button. I think that's because I'm not on the straight road tool. Again, that's my fault. That's why I always ask when playing this, is it the game or is it me? Because sometimes you just don't realise what you're actually pressing and what you're doing. So I understand this might look a bit strange initially, but I want to make all of these row housing. So let's see what options we've got here. Medium density row housing. So let's make all of this area medium density row housing, and it's almost going to be like an estate area, which that area is getting quite built upon now, and I'm going to hit the edge of this square soon. So I'm going to round those corners off. I think we might need the complex curve here. And we'll do the same for this one. And I might do the same for this side as well.